Hi, Toby. Good to see you. So I think it'd be really good to have a view from you as to what organisation went into the first online auction and how you think it went.
Fine. Okay. Well, it was challenging, Richard. We've been selling properties online since 2016, but those properties have been sold conditionally, as opposed to unconditionally in the auction room. And what I mean by that is when we sell a property under the hammer, on the fall of the hammer, exchange of contracts happens immediately.
Yeah.
When you sell conditionally, the deal is subject to contract. So we had to get ready very quickly for unconditional sales online, which meant rewriting terms of business, adapting our platform, and we had to do that very quickly, but we got there. So having done all of that work, we're now set up and ready to hold auctions online for as long as is necessary.
Well, that's good news. So going forward then to the next auction, the issue for most partners at the moment seems to be obviously observing government guidelines whilst trying to do business. So any advice for the partners as to the sort of lots that would sell at the moment and how to get around the viewings issue, because that's a big one for people?
Absolutely, of course. Well, the first thing to say is that our buyers at auction tend to be experienced purchasers. We tend not to sell to first-time buyers. We tend not to sell to people who are involved in chains. Our buyers are experienced investors, normally with cash funds. That said, obviously the guidelines from government are very clear. And at the moment, viewings of property, particularly block viewings, which is how we normally work with auctions, are not viable. So we think that wherever possible, we need floor plans and video walkthroughs of properties, and the properties that we'll be offering at the auction on the 21st of May all will come with that facility. We also know that there is very strong demand for land, plots of land with or without planning. We know that we can sell short lease flats. We know that we can sell life reversion investments, all of which are properties that don't require viewings. So we're adapting to market conditions and trying to make sure that we provide stock where we're not putting either buyers or sellers at risk.
Okay, that's interesting. So I had a very interesting and good phone call with one of our network partners the other day. He was saying they have concluded 24 simultaneous exchange of completions on private treaty since the start of the social restrictions that we have in place at the moment, which I thought was a pretty spectacular result. His angle on that was, I'm dealing with can-do people, can-do buyers, can-do sellers, can-do solicitors, can-do funders. Any hints and tips or any stories for the network partners that you've come across?
Well, obviously the auction on the 2nd of April was a good example of can-do in practice. Can-do in that we held the auction in the first place rather than cancelled it. Our sellers stuck with us and we sold plenty of properties there to buyers who had a can-do attitude. One thing that's really stuck out to me recently is we actually had a valuation carried out on behalf of purchasers. And bear in mind, we just had a bank holiday weekend. We had a valuer approach us at 5 o'clock last Friday after the bank holiday. And he said, right, I've been instructed to go and do a valuation. Number one, we were surprised to hear from the guy because people would have you believe that surveyors and valuers aren't operating at the moment. He called us at 5 o'clock on Friday evening and he said, I would like to go at first light to the property on Saturday. I thought he was pulling my leg. He wasn't. He actually we set up an arrangement where he could collect keys from a secure place. And I got a text from him at 5:30 a.m. on a Saturday to say that he'd collected the keys. And then at 7 a.m. same day to say that he'd returned them to the same place. I've been selling properties for more than 30 years. That's a record. So there are people who are going above and beyond, to make sure that we can still transact and we can still operate in these testing market conditions.
Oh, that is fantastic. I think there's a lot partners who might like that valuer's name and number at some point
I've got
over
his number and his name, yeah, and it's available.
over the coming weeks. So to conclude then, we've got our next auction, which is going to be fully online again on the 21st of May. We've got a closing date of 30th of April for entries.
That's right.
And so just once again, I know you touched on it in an answer a short while ago, but just give us a feel for the sort of stock that we are confident from the last sale that we have investor buyers, the type of thing that they're looking to buy at the moment.
Fine. So number one is land. Land is really hot at the moment. It's seen as a safe haven for investment. Land plots with or without planning very much to the fore. Ground rent investments don't require viewings. We've got strong demand for those because they provide rock solid returns. Any ground rents we can assist with. Properties that are tenanted, houses in multiple occupation particularly, that are providing high returns at the moment, we can sell. With residential stock, if it's vacant and we've got a video tour, we can deal with that. So those are the categories really where we know we've got demand and where we can operate very effectively in this market.
Okay, so fair to say if our partners have got clients who require our services, number one, there's buyers. Number two, we've certainly got the wherewithal to get them the best possible price, taking into account current market conditions, which is exactly what auctioneers do, even when the market's not like this.
That's right, absolutely. So, you know, we're here, we're doing business, and we're here to help the partners. So please call us, and we look forward to speaking to you.
That's great, Toby. Okay, I'll be speaking to you very soon. Have a good afternoon.
All the best. Cheers.